Okay. All right, everyone. So, welcome to the final podcast of 2022. And it might sound a little bit different today because actually I'm in the car and I've got Jimmy next to me. And it is the 28th of December. And we're just going out for a drive, me and Jamie, to spend some one-on-one time, which we haven't really done for a while because we've been doing everything as a family, which is really nice. However, it's also really nice just to do something with Jamie. So we're in the car. Had a bit of a plan to do this yesterday, but that didn't play out. I was actually pretty tired yesterday. We came back from our door trip away over to Wakayama. And so today we're in the car, me and Jamie. So I apologise for any road noise, anything else that kind of goes on. You might get Jimmy, some noises from Jimmy. He's sitting right next to me. You going to say hello, Jimmy? No. Okay, he's not going to say hello. He just said no. He wants to have music on, and I've said to him that if we can just wait a little bit while I do this recording, then we can maybe get some music going on. So this year has been another year, that's for sure, and it's been a really interesting year for me, learning so much more about myself and just how I deal with situations. Yes, Jamie, that's right, music. When I finish doing this, we can put it on, okay? Yeah. So, learning more about myself as to how I can kind of move through the day and be better to myself, give myself some time, give myself some space. And I kind of want to, maybe I'll talk about that now, because I think that's really something. There's so many things that I feel I have to do. I have to give myself space, but I also need to really, when I give myself spaces, I'm able to work out really why I am feeling how I am, and why I'm feeling shitty, why I'm edgy, why I am edgy, why I am reacting sharply to stuff. And that is a good thing, because I think that reflection and understanding, or trying to understand kind of why I feel the way I do is really important. And that's the first step, actually. And I always forget that, because that's the first step of actually making some kind of progress. And it's a good thing. And I think that, I never do that. I didn't do it enough for a long time. Ice cream? No, later on. We have an ice cream later on. Okay. And so I know that in doing that, I'm being better, and I'm on that road to being better, to being a better person. Which is always good, and I encourage all the dads out there to, then probably, if you're listening to this and you're on that track, man, you are definitely on the road. You're doing the work. I think is I like that phrase of kind of doing the work, because we can all perhaps sit there and talk about it, and I have felt like I've actually been a bit like that in the last, I don't know, in the last kind of month or two, is I felt like I've just been doing the talk but not actually redoing the work. Maybe I haven't been fair on myself, because I have been, like, the work is part of realizing and self-analyzing why I feel the way I do. That is a lot of the work, and kind of seeing myself externally as well, and seeing how I can be better, how I need to say sorry when I've screwed up, when I've messed up, and just putting my hands up in the air, and I've really seen a difference with how Joshua is. Oh, there we go. There's my radar detector telling me there's a crossing. I think I'll just turn that down, shall we? There we go. So yeah, I've noticed a real difference in Joshua because of how I've been and how I've allowed myself to give myself a bit more grace. Is that I've been able to be better with him as a better dad. Yes, Kim. Key. What key? Key. Okay, I don't know what you mean by key. Yeah, so I've really seen a big difference in Joshua. I'd say probably in the last 5-6 months, he's actually really, I don't know, he seems more open, and he seems to be more willing to talk about things, and I give him the space to talk about things. I give him a platform. I allow him to, if I feel that he seems a bit kind of angry or something, is that I dive in, and perhaps because I think I might know what it is, or sometimes I don't know what it is, but I try and see if I can allow him and give him that space to talk about it, and it works. It really does work, and he feels so much better as well. I know he does, and he looks better. His face looks better, and everything. So, I suppose I am doing the work, and it can sometimes feel like I'm not doing the work, which is always a mental challenge. But you know what? I'm doing the work, and I'll continue to do the work because I want to just be better and do better. So, yeah, that's good there. All right, so moving on now to the actual podcast itself, because that's been a big part of my world for the since the back end of June. We'll go June, and I've really enjoyed it. I didn't really know how it was going to go. Didn't know how it was going to, what it was going to transform into. But I really have stuck with my why of why I'm doing it, and I think that has resonated with a lot of guys that I've spoken to. They have listened to it, and they've found it enlightening. It's allowed them the dads to connect with things that maybe they've been thinking, or and it's really good. And I don't know. It means it keeps me going. It gives me hope. Gives me that feeling that okay, I am doing something which is helping other dads connect, relate to, and feel like they're not alone in this, and giving them a platform, a space to start to talk about it if they haven't already, and then to continue that on. And I'm just a dad, really. It's like that. I'm just a dad. I'm just a dad with Jamie, who needs extra help. And the reason I come back to it is because, again, there's a lot of, well, not a lot, but more mums do talk about this. As a lot of mums obviously don't talk about it. But women, generally, I feel, are better at just talking about things, and dads, men are not. So that's why I wanted to do this, and that's why we're still doing it, because it really does give us dads a place to not be judged and have that space where they can just be like, yeah, I just want to keep it real. I want to talk about how real it really is, which is very, very important. So I will keep doing it from 2023, I've made a decision to go to a fortnightly podcast because I love doing it, but it is quite tough to do a weekly podcast. It takes a lot of time out of me at the moment. If I feel that I can do an extra episode, do weekly ones or things like that, I'm definitely going to do them because I love doing them. They're really enjoyable, and it's obviously the dads who come on and share their journey. That's also it's great for them, and it's great for the other dads to hear it as well. And I think it's important to note that this is really about their story, and I don't judge anyone. I don't want to be the judge of this. I just want them to. It's their story, and I think that is so important because there's nothing worse than for me to be talking about my stuff and then be judged about how I feel, because how I feel is very real, and I don't like how I feel sometimes. And if someone turns around and says, "You can't feel like that," it invalidates me as a person, and that's why I think we just, and why I don't want to. I don't want to criticize anyone. I'll just give them a space and ask the questions, listen to them, and sometimes go deeper onto why that is. And you would have heard in the episodes kind of that happen. And I think it's important to hear those things because, sometimes as dads we don't kind of tend to go deeper than what we should, and what we feel that we can. And I think that's a really good thing. Dads to kind of go in deep and feel the feels, and it's tricky for us. It's tough for us because we feel like we've got to be. We don't. A lot of us don't know. I didn't know how I'm going to tap into my my emotion, my vulnerability, my emotional side. It's tough for me, and if it's tough for me, I know it's tough for other guys. I say this because I just know that I'm just not alone in it. So I want to thank all my guests that came on this year, and it's been so good. I've gone out and I've looked for dads to come on, and it's really good. And there's been some amazing stories, to hear, to be part of. They're so good, and I really appreciate the time that the dads have taken. And I think some dads have come on not really kind of knowing what we're going to talk about, and then it's gone in a direction that they didn't expect it to go, but they've actually really enjoyed it, and they've kind of tapped into things that they maybe didn't quite know, didn't quite kind of understand, didn't quite kind of come to grips with it. And that's a good thing. So I thank every single guest that's come on and shared their journey, and the journey is still going because it just doesn't end. It keeps going. And they were really good, and everyone's got their favourite. And I was thinking to myself, what was my favourite? Do I want to kind of choose a favourite? And I cannot choose a favourite because I just think that they're all so bloody awesome. Every single episode. Yes, Jamie. They're so bloody awesome.
Okay.
I know we need to clean the windows, don't we?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, they're just so bloody awesome that, I can't even choose the best one because each interview and each not interview, I don't like calling interviews. Each talk and each story has so many different merits. And yeah, it just really, really awesome. Beautiful, vulnerable, open stories. And I want that to continue into 2023. I'd like to get some of these dads back on, if they want to come back on, give us an update as to how they're doing. Because obviously it's a journey, right? And the journey is continuing on. We are still dads. They start to school, or they start getting into work. All these challenges for us are very real. For me, are very real, and for for you as dads, are really real. And it's great to hear them. It's great to be part of them. And yeah, it's a very. I feel very honoured to be part of this. And like I said, I didn't think it was really going to go in this kind of go this well. I didn't think it was going to go this well. This is where I wanted it to go. I wanted it to kind of, get dads on, because I don't think having me talk, just me talk, is what I want it to be. I want it to be, dads sharing that story, sharing the journey, sharing their ups and downs. Their downs are something that we often don't talk about, and so sharing those moments where it's really tough for us. We often put on social media all the good times, those happy, smiling photos, and so a lot of our friends tend to think that our lives are all roses and it's all happy days, or we just don't put anything up. And I can understand both aspects of those. I went through a time that I just didn't want to put anything on social media, and I kind of really was, against putting things up on social media. I felt like, I don't know, I haven't quite unpacked that as to why I did that. I just felt like I was Big Brother was going to be, using my pictures and stuff, and maybe they are using my pictures, but I've now I turned a leaf, and I'm like, I'm going to use this I'm going to use social media for the greater good, and to put it out there that our lives are very real, very raw, very emotional, very hard, harder than dads who don't have children that have extra needs, special needs, or disabilities, and so on. We do have additional challenges. They are very real, and I often feel that people don't know how to validate those. And my sister is probably actually, I'd say probably an absolute legend with that. I think she really does. I feel her empathy with when I tell her that I'm having a tough time. I feel her empathy, and I think that I really appreciate it, because it's not that I don't know. Maybe I was about to say maybe it's not that I want it, but I think I do want it, because it validates and allows me to be real and be like, yes. So I'm not just imagining how goddamn tough it is. She validates that, and that's so important for me. So I thank her for doing that. And I think that empathizing and being compassionate towards those, to me, for my sister, I think it takes a real effort, because what we have to do is we need to, she's putting herself into my shoes, and she's thinking about how would she feel if I said that to her. So she's being very compassionate, and she's empathizing with my situation. And I really love that. And also I thank her a lot. Thank you, Katrina, for that. And I know sometimes, like, you know, you can't get it right all the time, hey? But I know that, you know, when we're having our text conversations back and forth, and dads, when you have this with your sisters and your, you know, whoever, is that sometimes the responses don't come back quick enough for us, right? You know, and I think what it is it's giving them time to think about how we can respond to this, and allowing that time, because it's hard. You can't just, you know, respond with, "You're okay, mate. Get over it. You'll be fine." It doesn't work like that. That, you know, and they know that those kind of responses don't help us at all. So I thank my sister for being a total legend, and just really being a rock star with that. So I will finish up with my my little spiel on this. Jamie has been an absolute legend here. He has been listening to me talk. He's been sitting here in the car, been so good. Jamie, thank you. Thank you he's giving me a bit of a smile here. And he's been pretty good. So we're going to sign off for 2022. Jamie, would you like to say anything to the dads out there? No, nothing? You sure? Okay. So he's nothing? You don't want to say anything into the mic? Here you go. You want to say something? No? Okay, he's a bit shy. You know that I'm recording, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. So we're going to put some music on now, and we're going to start to rock out to some tunes in the car. And I hope that you can, dads, I hope you can get some of that space over this festive time, because it's hard to sometimes get away. And sometimes it's more sometimes it's more on me, as I feel guilty for going out. I even felt a bit guilty going to get a haircut yesterday. I actually did. I honestly felt guilty. But it's a haircut, you know. So, yeah, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. That is a phrase which I think I'm going to start to use more. And it's a phrase that Simon Sinek actually says. He's a guy sometimes I listen to. And it's a podcast called A Little Bit of Optimism. And it's nice, because it's quite good. It's really good. So get into that. A Little Bit of Optimism is the name of the podcast, Simon Sinek. Really interesting. So everyone, thanks again. My final thank you. It's been great. It's been unreal. And we're going to continue this on into 2023. Let's see where it goes. Thank you so much. Be good. Over and out. Thank you.